everyone, this is Diane. Well, I am in between projects right now, and I'm prepping for our Thanksgiving dinner for tomorrow. We're doing ours on Saturday because my daughter had to work on Thanksgiving. Today's Friday, as I'm making this video. So I'm in between projects, and when I had done the tour of my craft room and asked if there was anything in particular you wanted to see in more detail, someone mentioned the Mary Poppins supplies. And I thought, ooh, that'll be fun to look at. And so I brought in some other kits too, some of the smaller bundles that I have to look at if we have time. So I think we will have time to do some anyway. I don't think this will take 45 minutes. So Mary Poppins, I love Mary Poppins. So, and I just watched the ABC special, and it brought tears to my eyes. If you didn't see that, it's the 60th anniversary of the Disney movie with Julie Andrews, and they did a special about it, and it was very interesting, and I want to watch the movie again, both of them. I liked the newer one too with, oh, I can't remember her name, and I really like her. Anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. So anyway, I love the movie, and so one of these journals will have to be mine. I'm thinking, I paid extra money to get this from Amazon. I had to go searching for it. I love this cover, but I also love this one. But these are fun too. So whatever, we'll see what happens. I'm not making them quite yet, but I think I want to get to these sooner rather than later. So here is one of the covers, and it is a Whitman book. If you want to go looking for it on eBay, look at the cute drawings on the back. This is where she's stepping into the chalk drawing. And I saved a lot of the pages out of it. And then I have 3 golden books. A Jolly Holiday. This is pretty too. 1964. And it's C printing. Mary Poppins Story, The Magic Compass. These are very similar to the original drawings in her books. P.L. Travers books. If you've never read them, they're quite interesting. Oh, looking in the wrong part. This is first edition of this one. So they're not like a story with a storyline. They're just little chopped up episodes. And there are quite a few books, 5 or 6 books. This is 1953. And this one, $1964, and this is a first edition. Somebody colored her eyes and colored a little bit on the page. So that means even though it's a first edition, it won't be worth much. There's some coloring there. That's a fun one. So those are 4 covers I have to use. I picked this up somewhere. I've had it for a couple of years at least. A Mary Poppins Story for coloring. So these would be wonderful pages in the journals. I don't know who the original illustrator was, but these are similar. Oh, I have extra pages in there. These are similar to the original artwork. Mary Shepherd. I wonder if she's the original. This one says Gertrude Elliott, so I don't know. Maybe they're just artists that are basing their work on the original. This was out of a Walt Disney collection, like a set of books, and this must have been the first story in the book because it's got the table of contents right there. The music really, really makes this movie. And I love Julie Andrews and Dick Van Dyke. I have these paper dolls. Now these are probably, she's probably too tall to be used in any of these books. Here's Michael. And here's her carpet bag. It's part of the cover, but you can store the clothing in it. Love that outfit. And another coloring book, Mary Poppins, Color and Read. And this is 1963. Yep. Some of it's been colored. I could cut images out of it, fold the pages. That's fun. And I have a few things tucked in here. This is something I ordered from, probably from scrapbook.com. It's not licensed. It's by Cartabella, and it's not licensed, so it doesn't say Mary Poppins. It says Practically Perfect. Very sturdy paper, lightly textured. Here's a little map of the park that they live near. Piccadilly Pond and Trafalgar Pond. In the original books, there's a lot of activity that happens in that park. So these are Mary Poppins books. There's a carousel, a teapot, Mary Poppins silhouette, an umbrella. Oh, love polka dots. The London Examiner, Hyde Park. Is that the name of the park they live by? And some cards to cut up. Sweet and kind and smart and cheery. Words on the list that the children made of the type of nanny they wanted. They can't have the titles of the song Supercalifragilistic and Chim Chim Cheree because it's not licensed, but they have London Bridge is Falling Down, I'm a Little Teapot, Baby Bumblebee, and My Bonnie Lies Over the Ocean. Oh, that's sweet. We've got some kites here. There's the weather vane. And A Day in the Park. I'll have to read this little story. Some strips, teapots, hydrangeas and other flowers. Lovely. And I got some stamps to go with it. Also by Cartabella. Just, I think you can see the images there. There's a little weather vane. Let's go fly a kite. Practically perfect in every way. I'm glad that's in there. What else do I have? Looks like I have more paper dolls. Probably the same ones, but these were cut. I got the paper dolls at flea markets. Well, maybe they're different. Let me see. Nope, she's the same. This doesn't go with her. Oh, there's Julie Andrews, another paper doll. That's an even bigger one. So these bigger clothes go with her. And these are all the clothes for that one, I guess. They might not all be there. I have 3 paper dolls of Mary Poppins. Then I cut this out of a nursery rhyme book, or a poem book. It's just children on a merry-go-round. And I thought that would be a good for Mary Poppins ephemera piece because they ride a carousel, a magical carousel. And 2 Merry paper dolls to wish you a Merry Christmas. So this was in a box full of paper dolls that I got. And this is the doll. You can put these outfits on her. Got some sketches of the Banks children and some of the characters in the book, not the movie. Uncle Dodger, Nellie Rubina, Miss Andrew, and Mr. Turvey. They're in the books, but not the movie. And Mary Jane. She's not a Mary Poppins doll. These are digitals. I got a set of these digital reels, but these are Mary Poppins. They're both the same. I must have printed it twice. And then here is a card, birthday card. It's just a flat card. It doesn't open up, but again, it's a carousel that came off of the ride, so that's perfect. That could be Jane and Michael right there. This is actually from a shoe store. So they must have sent things like that to their customers. This could also be a journal. It's a record book. So that's the Mary Poppins stuff that I have. Let's look at another kit that I might have here. I have been collecting a few Heidi things because I have some Heidi books. I did buy read the one that I purchased that was a newer book. I don't have it in here with me, but I enjoyed reading it very much. But these are the covers I have. Heidi, Child of the Mountains, and it is a wonder book in really, really good condition. I don't think it was red. I bought it from a man at the flea market who, he said his mother-in-law sold books. And so he had lots of books, and I bought quite a few. He wasn't there. He was only there a couple of times. This is a 1977 printing. And he had duplicates of some of the books. And they're in really good condition because they weren't sold. They weren't read. So I love this cover. And then the golden book cover with Corinne Malvern's illustrations. I love Heidi. I love the story, but I don't think it's a book I need to make a journal for myself. So all of these journals will end up in the shop if I ever get them made. And this is another classic Whitman book, Heidi and a Goat. This is my favorite cover out of these. And let's see what I've collected. This is a little thicker than I thought it would be. Again, I have paper dolls, Heidi and Peter paper dolls. And these are smaller. Oh, this is the doll right here. And there's another Heidi. I guess she's just a stand-up doll. Yeah, I guess these clothes fit her. Anyway, there's two Heidi dolls in here. So each one has different outfits. Her arm is positioned differently. This is a book that I picked up at the flea market this summer, Hans of the Swiss Alps. Ahead they see grandfather who is working hard. So, I mean, this could really be Heidi, Peter, and Heidi's grandfather. But her name is Trudy in the book. So I thought these would be great pages to use. It talks about them, Heidi and Peter, going up the mountain every day with the goats and drinking milk out of a bowl. Goat milk. So that'll be fun. And I saved these two Tim Holtz dolls because she looks like she could be Heidi. And then these are pages that came out of that book. These are pages that came out of a Dolls of the World book. So this is a doll from Switzerland, and that's her little flag. And from a country where mountains are capped with white snow, where lovely wildflowers on hillsides do grow, where singers can yodel, comes this pretty miss. She's called Little Heidi. Heidi, she's a doll that is Swiss. That's all I have for Heidi so far. I'll look for some alpine flowers. I used to have a book of alpine flowers, but I don't think I have it anymore. Well, I have a friend, a Dutch friend named Alette, who you may have heard me talk about her. She's one of my earliest YouTube junk journal friends. And she and her husband, she lives in the Netherlands. She and her husband and her cousin and his wife came to Canada and America a few years ago and rented a motorhome and traveled around a bit on this side of the country. And she made a point of making arrangements to visit me. So I got to meet her in person. And then not too long ago, she sent me a happy mail with some Dutch items in it, and some other items too, but I saved the Dutch ones. I decided to make myself a Dutch book in honor of my friend Alette. And her husband passed away recently, so my heart goes out to Alette. I don't know if you'll see this, Alette, but love you and praying for you. And I just wanted you to know I'm planning on keeping all those Dutch things you sent me in this book, whatever will fit. This is a small book. I looked on eBay for this. I don't know if I actually was looking for it. I didn't know it existed, but was I looking for a Dutch book? I don't know. I think I just saw it when I was looking for other books. And I don't buy a lot of books on eBay because they cost more. But I saw this one and thought this would be wonderful to use for my Dutch stuff. So it's called The Dutch Twins by Lucy Fitch Perkins, 1937. Look at that. That is so cute. The book is actually dated 1911. This inscription says 1937. It's got a lot of really beautiful drawings. And then the supplies I have for it. I have quite a few. But I'm worried that they'll be too small or too big. This was out of a coloring book. Perfect, right? That would be a cute little journal card or tuck spot. Look at her. There's a windmill. Here's an antique postcard with a windmill and a wooden shoe. This was an embroidery transfer. This is a digital. This is from a very fragile book. I would have to glue them down. And this is a needle case with a Dutch girl and a windmill on the back. Very old. She's got scribbling on her. They scribbled out someone's name here, but it bled through to this side, which is pretty sad. But this is from that book about dolls from other countries. So there's her flag. Katrinka of Holland. This is her page from that book. Here's a card. Dutch children dressed in true Holland style. And then, just like I had the Swiss children, this is a day with Dutch children. The man he had more of these, and he wanted to sell them all together, but I just wanted those two. So he let me just buy those two. I wonder what these things are. Looks like they have metal coils. I'll have to ask Alette. Alette, if you're watching this, why do they have metal coils in their hair? See, the schoolgirls have them too. And they have things hanging on them. They're not actually in their hair. They're attached to that lace cap. They're threaded through that, it looks like. Interesting. Got a library pocket. And then I did find some Dutch ephemera at the flea market. So I saved all of that in here. Here's a postcard that's probably too big. I might be able to trim it, but it's Amsterdam. Amsterdam again. Holland. They painted their face to match their flags, but that matches my flag. Here's Holland and Haarlem, which is a section of the Netherlands. She's got those wire coils on her hat too. I really want to know what that's all about. Rotterdam. This opens up. It's a map. Oh, is it a map? Yeah, it's got a map. This says Rotterdam also. Some boat trips. A magic eye doll with 4 three-dimensional outfits. I am Katrine from Holland. That was in a book of paper dolls you could order. some Dutch children in the rain. Well, I don't know if they're supposed to be Pennsylvania Dutch, but they have wooden shoes on, so I'm saying they're Dutch. Just because this reminds me of the Pennsylvania Dutch speech. This is written in Dutch here, I guess. There's a little windmill from a game, vintage game. Some children on a note card. Some of these she sent me. I don't remember what I got. I know I got some of this ephemera at the flea market. And I know some of this was set from Alette. I'll have to watch that video, my haul from Alette. I think she sent this to me, but I don't remember. It's really cute, and I love the colors. Cut from a book or a magazine. There's a postcard called The Pursuit. Can you imagine running in the wooden shoes? This is 1906. And this is a page from the It's a Small World record book that I found. The Dutch children. There's a Dutch doll and a Pacific Island doll. And I think it was to crochet the outfit. And this set of stamps, I'm pretty sure this came from Alette. It's got a row, it looks like folk art. It's got a row of Dutch people with the flower and then this diamond design. 2 different stamps. Here's another greeting card. I have a lot of stuff for the Dutch book. I can start this anytime. And I'm pretty sure these came from Alette. That's so sweet. Maybe we'll name them Jack and Jill. What would the Dutch equivalent of the names Jack and Jill be? 4 pictures of the same. And I love this, the pretty colors. This came out of a magazine that I had. It might have been a story of the Dutch twins. I've had the illustrations in other books, but I've never seen the whole book like I got from eBay. Pretty sure all of this came from Alette. There's a windmill on that piece of ephemera. They look like salt glazed pottery. I don't know if they are, but these are little shoes with windmills painted on them. Very, very pretty. Love these. These will be great embellishments. Some washi tape. Some stamps. Illustration. There's another little label in there. There's the Dutch twins again, I guess. If her name is Kat, I'll look in the book and see. And another postcard with a windmill. And this is another placemat. And there are 2 of them. So they're great. I can cut them into squares. I made a copy of this antique book that was very, very fragile. Made a copy of this page. Oh, another postcard. And another page. We saw this one in color, but it just cracks and falls apart. That's all the Dutch stuff. Guess I have enough stuff to make more than one journal, don't I? I don't know where I put the bag it goes in. It's right here. Okay, we're at 29 minutes. Let's look at what I have for cherries. I'm curious to see how much I have. So I've made strawberry journals, as you know, for several years. And someone asked me, said she'd like to see cherry journals. So I find cherry stuff a lot too, just like strawberry stuff. So I started gathering it. There's a shelf liner with cherries. There is a little note paper that has cherries on it. This is black cherry labels and some cherry recipes. And this is the bottle label. This is for the neck of the bottle. There are a couple of those. I had made this. I cut this embroidery piece off of a bigger piece and made a little booklet with a folder with pockets. What's a pocklet? And so I decided to just add this to my cherry collection. And then these are vintage labels for cherry preserves or whatever. Just says cherry. And then this says ground cherry. And I have this little pocket, little scrap of fabric, and I made a pocket out of it. And some cherry fabric. And this that came off another piece that had other fruit in the squares. Some bottle caps for cherry flavored drink. Postcard with cherries. And a Victorian ephemera piece with cherries. This is a large scarf or something. There's a lot of fabric there. These are digitals. I don't know where they came from. It probably was a set of journal cards that featured cherries, and I just snatched them up, printed them, and cut them so I wouldn't forget about them. And it probably came with these. Yep. And this is just a piece of ephemera that came with a set of ephemera out of a magazine, a cherry pie, and cherry tarts. This is from KB and Friends, chocolate covered cherries. A little poem from a children's book. This is a scrapbook paper and some wrapping paper and a fold-a note. And some cherry recipes. Yes, cherry hatchet cake. I guess that's the only one. Flip-flop pancakes with cherry sauce. Cherry Phillips. And George Washington cherry pie. Cherry skillet cake. Cherry ice cream cake. Cherry cobbler. Lots of cherry recipes. Telford cherry cake. Here's another piece from that game, from a children's nursery rhyme book. Here is a vintage advertising card for Joseph Feigl, merchant tailor and clothier in San Francisco. Oh, it's a piece of ephemera. It's not vintage. It's not genuine. Stencil your own curtains with that cherry design. I have that twice. And a cherry tart. And some embroidery transfers. The last one I brought in here is a collection of fairy tale stuff, and the only reason I saved the fairy tale stuff is because I have these fairy tale golden books. I have Snow White, I have Cinderella, Cinderella's Friends, Little Red Riding Hood, and Hansel and Gretel. So let's see what we have in here. This is a piece of vellum that says Living a Fairy Tale. There's Little Red Riding Hood. This is a knight. I don't think I have anything that this would go with, book-wise. And a castle. And another knight. Happily Ever After. Maybe Cinderella. And I have Sleeping Beauty. These are all Sleeping Beauty, and I don't have a Sleeping Beauty book, but these would be good for Sleeping Beauty too. Maybe I have a lot of Sleeping Beauty stuff here, I think, so I'll have to find a book or something, make a book cover. Because here's some more Sleeping Beauty playing cards. Sleeping Beauty, there's Snow White, Bashful, Cinderella, and Little Red Riding Hood. And these are from an old little promotional book that was given out. Little Red Riding Hood and Cinderella. Snow White, Sleeping Beauty. Got lots of Sleeping Beauty pages. Hansel and Gretel. Got the same picture here, but bigger. Nope, same size. Slightly different coloration. Different printings of the book, probably. So these are all Hansel and Gretel. Here's one of the Witch's House. And this came from Graphic 45 Fairy Tale set. There's Sneezy. Bambi. I do have Bambi golden books, but that's not a fairy tale. Sleeping Beauty. Once Upon an Eerie Tale is that Graphic 45 set, and there are little postage stamps of Fairy Tale. Mother, that might be the witch from, oh, this Jack and the Beanstalk, there's a witch. Little Red Riding Hood, I think that's Cinderella. Sleeping Beauty. Oh, Rumpelstiltskin. Beauty and the Beast. These pages are from the DCWV Happily Ever After. That's what these are from. There's Happily Ever After set 1 and set 2. So I don't know which is. I think these are all from the original set. And these might be too, but they're just the 6x6. Okay, what else do we have? Snow White, Bambi. He's going to go someplace else, those Bambi things. Snow White, and these are Snow White cards too. There's a tiny little Snow White book. And Bambi postcards. And Snow White postcards. Oh, okay, Sleeping Beauty. I do have paper from that. It's a 6x6 Stamperia or Stamperia. So pretty. Okay, so I'm glad I have this, and I can, because I have a lot of other, I keep saying I have a lot of Sleeping Beauty stuff. What do we have here? Snow White. Snow White. Snow White. This is Fairy Tale Words, Fairies Words from Mrs. Coggs. Big Snow White pages and Cinderella pages. These are Cinderella. Hansel and Gretel. Where did I put Cinderella? Maybe I didn't put her anywhere yet. This was a large piece from, maybe I got this from the internet, Pinterest or something, but it looks like a large piece that I got out of a Victorian scrapbook. So I don't think I made a copy of it though. This doesn't look like a copy I made. This is really fun. It's Little Red Riding Hood that you can make. You cut out the wolf, put it together and make it. There's her cape and hood. There's grandmother. It's a topsy, is it a topsy-turvy doll? Oh, I guess not. There's Red Riding Hood. And grandmother. Got this at the flea market. More Red Riding Hood. I'm not sure. This is maybe the Goose Girl. I'm not familiar. I've heard of the story, The Goose Girl. So these are just random fairy tales. Little Red Riding Hood. There's a postcard of Little Red Riding Hood. Reproduction. Little Red Riding Hood story. There's the wolf. And this was a cloth book. I had 2 of them. These were glued down into something. They don't really match up very well. But I can use the dolls in the journal. Little Red. Little Red. I think these pages are actually from a copy of the Little Red Riding Hood book that I have. This one. I just love these illustrations. Yeah. They're so gorgeous and rich looking. Told and illustrated by Elizabeth Orton Jones. The 3 bears. Goldilocks. I've got some Goldilocks things here. And Cinderella. Oh, I have Goldilocks paper dolls. That's fun. Look at the cute little outfits. And there's a story in there too. Oh, the doll's right there. So cute. Love them. And I have Peter Pan. Peter Pan shoes. And Peter Pan cottons for making clothes. And a Peter Pan. This must have been when the Peter Pan movie was released. Peter Pan treasure hunt party. So we've got some toys you can buy. How to make the party a success. Oh, look at the costumes. I made my son a Peter Pan costume, and my daughter was Tinkerbell when they were quite little. That's a beautiful picture, like the poster. All right, that's what I have for fairy tales. So out of all of these kits that you saw, which one or ones are you excited to see being made? Obviously, I can't make them all at once. That's my problem. I want to make everything all at once. So I had fun looking through these. I hope you did too. And I don't know what the next project will be, but we'll think of something. I have a couple in mind. Remember, I asked you what out of 3, which ones I should do, and we unanimously voted for the flea market or the Linden Market. linen market journals. The other two were golden books with the wire binding and sewing pattern journals. So I'll choose one of those for the next journal. But thanks for coming along to see these, and I hope that you're having a creative day. Bye.